You are Locked On Coogs, your daily podcast on the Houston Cougars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
FanDuel, the NFL season's here, college football is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with this can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet hits, you get $300 back in bonus bets. That's almost so big, I had to double-take reading it. Futures, if you want to get on the action live, parlays, all of those things are at FanDuel. If you're ready to play, down the FanDuel app by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. It's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. And once you win that money, if you're looking at how to take care of it, transition there to today's show is also brought to you by our buddies at Monarch Money, because most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, investments, and you don't have the full picture. It all ends up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money, the all-in-one personal finance tool that helps bring your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. Again, I teach, I coach, I podcast. Borba's getting married. You got a lot going on there. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that can bring all of your financial life. You got a lot of other part of your life to bring together for, but your financial life can all be together on the Monarch apps. Easy-to-use interface is right there for you. Link all your accounts, everything. For instance, when I'm like, I got to find some more money for diapers. Oh, hey, Parker, stop eating out. I'm going to say, not going to give any, free pub, but stop eating takeout all the time. I can figure those kind of things very visibly out with all my accounts in one place on Monarch Money. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first full year. It's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONCollege. Borba, I realized in the middle of that, I also just put out there that you're getting married. So I hope you don't mind me throwing your personal business out there.
I'm registered online. Feel free to give me
just a flood of things. No, so we mentioned this game meaning a lot. Yeah. The line has moved. People are betting and moving the line back and forth. Opened at 3.5, got up to 5.5. As the recording of this, it's at 4.5 for Houston. Mm-hmm. Borba, I'm not going to ask about your gambling history. I already put your personal business out there once, but what is a 4.5 line? I mean, this means it's going to be a close game. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that is fair. Colorado, I mean, they lost to Georgia Tech, but honestly, that's one of those games where it coulda, shoulda, woulda. Like I'll put that out there. I'm not going to pretend like they should have won, but they had a lot of moments where it's like you forced 3 turnovers in the first quarter of a game. You should be winning, right? Like, it's very rare that a quarterback's going to run for 150 yards or whatever Haynes King did. And so I think Colorado could win this game. I think they could for sure keep it close if we're just talking gambling specific. But the matchup that really interests me is Conner Weigman versus the Colorado defense, right? Colorado has played, to a lesser extent, Delaware's quarterback was pretty mobile as well. But I don't view Conner as that mobile, right? I feel like he's much more pocket passer oriented. Would you agree with that?
He
can
move around. Yes. I don't want to. He's not Salter, right? He's not that kind of a guy where he's going to be like leading with that. He certainly, I think, surprised Rice and Stephen F. Austin with it. I would not like. He had the dual threat label in high school. I don't know if that's fair anymore, but I wouldn't call him slow or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. I think I do feel like Colorado could win this game, and I think it's going to be close. I mean, Houston physical defense, right? I think Houston, like if you play in a Houston's game, it's going to be a low scoring game for Colorado, at least. Obviously, you play in a Colorado's game, they want to score a lot, right? Colorado's undefeated when they score 30 or more points. That's sort of their game of lighting it up. It's like old Big 12 style football, even though they weren't in the Big 12 during that era. But what do you think? Like, what would you confidently or not confidently, hypothetically place a wager on?
So I've been looking at like the 24 to 21 kind of range. I do think this is a field goal kind of game. I went back and forth on how it gets there. Houston's defense has been their kind of backbone for a while now. And admittedly, in going 24-21, I'm kind of thinking that continues. Power 4 opponent, Big 12 opponent. They get a couple touchdowns in there, obviously, but I don't think this is the kind of game where the team gets up in the 35-40 range. I just trust Houston. Houston has a couple guys at each level of the defense. I just trust too much for that. I am picking Houston 24-21 though. I think that being a home game, bluntly, it's going to be in the mid 90s with very high humidity. Yeah. And if frankly the inverse were happening, we were playing up in the mountains, I'd probably give them a nod, for being in Boulder. So I think that's going to play a role in this. And then ultimately, I think that uh, having a couple weeks of preseason games as opposed to like prepping for Georgia Tech and I think that kind of helped.
Yeah.
I think that has to help you get ready a little bit because you can focus on yourself, focus on getting better in a different kind of way.
Yeah, I feel like to speak on Houston's behalf, this is now Kevin Borba of Locked On Cougs. Like, you guys got to like ease into it in a way where it's like that's what the preseason's for, right? That's why you schedule Stephen F. Austin Rice. Like Colorado, they play Wyoming next week. If I'm Colorado, I would have loved to gone Wyoming, Delaware, Georgia Tech, Houston. Like I would have loved that because now Colorado's in a reset. Like I want to give you a score prediction, but I don't know because I can't 100% say I know who's going to be playing quarterback for Colorado, right? Like that is sort of the problem. So like Colorado it's week 3 now, and we're sort of hitting a reset on not on the season, but like on what they're doing. And it's like, okay, this is complicated now. Does this change things? Does it make the team better? How short of a leash does whoever's at quarterback have? Like, I feel like Colorado just got a whole lot more complicated, and like, they're very hard to read most of the time anyway, because they try to keep things close to the vest, but this has only made it more confusing.
Well, and the multiple quarterback thing obviously shift things up or whatever. I think it's also interesting that like you typically learn a lot about a team between weeks 1 and 2, but the dramatic difference in opponents for Colorado, it's like how much of that was them learning things and how much of that was like, hey, this school just got to the FBS that we played in week 2, right? I'm sure as someone who analyzes them a lot, that's challenging on your behalf, but as me like trying to figure out who Houston's going to play this week, I'm like, I almost feel like they should have done more against Delaware. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but like I think that might like the way that Delaware can move the ball is like, okay, Houston can run the ball too. Like we can figure these things out. And so
Colorado's tackling has been sloppy as hell. And so if Houston has anybody that can make a play in space, and I know they do, they have a guy that goes by the name of Boogie. They have some really good running backs. Like I think Colorado is really about to, and this is why this means a lot. And I could have said this in the last segment. Colorado needs to prove that they can like adjust and like make these fixes, right? You should not be giving up 400 yards of offense to Delaware. And I hate like taking a what on smaller schools because one, I went to 2 small schools for both of my education, but like 2, it's like those guys are good athletes. It's just they're not at this level. And when you're a team of Colorado and Houston's like stature in terms of like FBS, FCS, like you should be able to like make things happen and like make life hell for them. And they did not do that.
Well, and that's not to say that Delaware wasn't good at the FCS level prior,
Right.
but it's just a different thing. And it is interesting because you're like, okay, if they just knew who the quarterback was, maybe they do put up 40. Like maybe that would have just changed everything. I don't know. I know that you're gonna be diving into it all week long. You mentioned you also have a former player on throughout the week. Kevin, you have anything fun coming this week for the folks to be dialed into and subscribed for?
Yeah. Every week I have a former Colorado player come on. We do a film breakdown. You could become a Locked On Buffs insider on Subtext, where we do a little film study, film breakdown from his perspective. I'm going to be doing some previews and predictions as well. Beyond this, as it gets closer, I'm going to try to predict outcomes of the game that I have no idea what's going to happen because Colorado continues to confuse me. That is my favorite part about covering them is they always seem to make it harder. But yeah, Locked On Buffs find me at Athlon Sports. I'm all over the place.
Athlons, I bet say you do the buffs for us, but you do a lot of things for a lot of people.
I do. I'm all over the place.
All over the place. I'm very Coogs focused. I can only handle one thing at a time. Locked on Coogs each and every day. Thank you again, Kevin. Crossing over is always fun. It's fun to get in the Big 12 and get to do these again. It was hard to find a Rice guy or Stephen F. Austin guy. It's a little bit challenging sometimes.
I did a series in the offseason where it was like finding an expert from every team. And it was like, oh, what do we mean there's a Tulsa transfer? Like, what do you mean there's like a Maine transfer? It's like, you don't always find those guys walking around.
Yeah. I don't even know what Maine's mascot is. That's going to be trivia for some time. All right. Thanks again. This is Locked On Coogs, Locked On Buffs crossover heading into the Big 12 American opener this Friday. Go Coogs. You say Buffs? I don't know. What are the Bisons out?
They say Sco Buffs. They do a little thing.